Chapter 4 of Jin Ping Mei Part 2, Brother Yen's Indignation at the Tea House. By the way, the two of them had just finished talking and were about to straighten their clothes when Wang Po opened the door and came in. She made a fuss, clapped her hands and said in a low voice, "You do have done a good job, Simon King," and the woman they were all taken aback. The mother-in-law said to the woman, Okay. I asked you to make clothes, and I never asked you to steal men. Your Wu Daling knows that he must implicate me. Why don't I go and tell Wu Da first? Turn around and leave." The woman grabbed her skirt in panic, lowered her head with a red face, and had to say, "Godmother, forgive me." Wang Po then said, "You all must do one thing to me. From today on, you will hide it from Wuhan University. If you take a break every day, you will lose the favor of the high officials. If I tell you to come early in the morning, and if you come late in the evening, I will give up. If you don't come for one day, I will tell you Wu Da." The woman was so ashamed that she couldn't say anything anymore. Wang Po urged, "What's going on? Answer me quickly." The woman turned her head and whispered, "Just come." Wang Po said again, "Official Simon, you don't need me to tell you that this very good thing has come to an end. Don't break your promises. If you betray your heart, I will also tell Wuhan University." Simon King said, "Don't worry, Godmother, you have not broken your promise." The mother-in-law said, "Every time you say something, you have no basis for it. You have to leave a note to hold it, and then you can see the true love." Simon King pulled out a golden hairpin from his head and inserted it into the woman's bun. The woman has taken off her sleeves. I'm afraid Wu Da will see her and get suspicious when she gets home. The woman refused to bring anything else out, but Mrs. Wang pulled her sleeves and took out a Hangzhou white crepe sweat towel, which she snatched from Simon King and kept. The three of them had a few more glasses of wine, and it was already afternoon. The woman stood up and said, "Slave, please go home." Then he left Wang Po and Simon King behind and walked back through the back door. I went to lower the curtain first, and Wu Da happened to come in. Let's say that Wang Po looked at Simon King and said, "Is it a good trick?" Simon King said, "I've lost my godmother." "What a good trick?" Wang Po asked again. "How is this girl Feng Yu?" Simon King said, "Luxury. You cannot speak of your children." The mother-in-law said, "The girl who played and sang in her room was born, and she soon got used to knowing everything. It's a shame that I managed to force you two to be husband and wife. Don't forget the things you promised me." Simon King said, "I will get the money and send it to you when I get home." Wang Po said, "Look at the Jingji flag and listen to the good news. Don't pay me any money when the coffin is out." Simon King smiled and put on his gauze when he saw that there was no one on the street. Not a problem. The next day, I came to Mrs. Wang's house again to ask for tea. Wang Po offered to sit down and quickly ordered tea. Simon King took out an ingot of 10 taels of silver from his sleeve and handed it to Wang Po. For all people in the world, money can move people's hearts. When the woman saw the snowflake silver with her black eyes, she happily accepted it and said to blessings in a row, "Thank you so much for your charity, officials." So she said to Simon King, "We haven't gone out to Wuhan University this evening. I'll wait until I go there." I borrowed the ladle from her family and took a look. On the other hand, he walked past the woman's house through the back door. The woman was sending Wu Da to eat in the room when she heard the door being called and asked Yinger, "Who is it?" Yinger said, "It's Grandma Wang who's here to borrow the ladle." The woman hurriedly welcomed him out and said, "Godmother, you have a ladle. Take it as you please. Please sit at home." The mother-in-law said, "There is no one over there," because he gestured to the woman. The woman knew that Simon King was coming. The mother-in-law took the ladle and went out, encouraged Wu Da to eat, and went out carrying the burden. First, he went upstairs to redress himself, put on a new set of colorful clothes, and told Yinger, "How Sheng is the housekeeper. I'll go sit down at your grandma's house and come back. If your father comes, let me know. If you don't listen to me, I'll cut you off. You little bitch," Yinger promised without question. The woman walked through Wang Po's tea house. Exactly, albizia, peaches and apricots make people smile in spring, but they actually have ulterior motives in their hearts. There is a word that is a double entendre. This ladle is a ladle, with a small mouth and a big body. When you were young, you grew up in the spring breeze shed and grew taller. When you grow up, it will be difficult for anyone to take care of you. How could he be willing to stay in the poverty-stricken and happy way and focus on taking advantage of the east wind to float on the water? I used to feed him in the stable and call him in the tea house, but now Zuyu doesn't want it. What medicine is sold in the gourd of the black hole at the equator? When Simon King saw the woman coming, she seemed to be falling from the sky, and they sat side by side with their legs folded. While Mrs. Wang ordered tea, she asked, "What did Wu Da ask when I came home yesterday?" The woman said, "He asked my godmother if she had made the clothes. I said that she had made the clothes, and I also made shoes and socks for her as a gift." After saying that, the mother-in-law quickly arranged for wine to be served and placed in the room, and the two of them drank together. Simon King looked at the woman carefully and found that she was more beautiful than when he first met her. After drinking wine, the pink face showed red and white, and the two long hairs on the temples were drawn. Duan is equal to the gods and better than Chang'e. Touching red and white flesh color, lovely skirt and hairpin. The skirt is trailing an emerald gauze shirt, and the sleeves are tied with mud gold belts. Zizi Bao's bun is tilted. Just like in the moon, Chang'e comes to the next world, and it is difficult to buy it without spending 1,000 gold. Simon King couldn't praise him enough, so he held him in his arms and lifted up his skirt. He was very happy to see his little feet wearing old crow satin shoes, which were just halfway up. We drank wine with him one by one, and talked with him mockingly. The woman asked Simon King whether he was noble, and Simon King told him, "I was 27 years old, and I was born on the 28th day of the 7th month." The woman asked, "How many ladies are there in the family?" Simon King said, "Apart from my humble wife, there are 3 or 4 people around me, but none of them suit me." The woman asked again, "How many brothers are there?" Simon King said, "It's just a little girl who will get married sooner or later and has no children." Simon King mocked him, took out a fragrant tea and osmanthus cake, wrapped in silver and gold from his sleeve, and delivered it to the woman with the tip of his tongue. The two hugged each other and made a sound. The old woman only went back and forth to fetch vegetables and sift wine, while she went to mind his own business, leaving the two of them to have fun in the room. After eating for a while, the wine was rich, and without realizing it, Simon King's heart was roused, and he revealed the words on his waist, which attracted the woman to touch it with her delicate hands. It turned out that Simon King had often raised his mother-in-law in 3 streets and 4 alleys since he was a child, and he still carried a tray made of silver and medicine under his roots. Those words were very big, with red, and black beards, straight and hard. And a good thing, an object is always 6 inches long, sometimes soft and sometimes hard. Soft like a drunken man pouring things over, hard like a wind monk going up and down wildly. It is the ability to leave the female body and enter the yin, and the Yaozhou navel is the hometown. He was born with 2 sons and carried them with him. He had several fights with beauties. After a while, the woman took off her clothes. Simon King felt that there was no hair on the female door, just like white and fluffy. Fermented steamed buns, soft and thick, red crepe fruit filling. It is really a beautiful thing that thousands of people love and thousands of people covet. Warm, fragrant and dry, mouth salient. It is the most pitiful thing that can be soft or soft. If you are happy, you will stick out your tongue and smile. If you are sleepy, you will sleep with your buttocks pressed against you. In the inner crotch county is the family business, and on the edge of the thin grass is the hometown. If you meet a romantic and handsome man, you can easily fight without speaking. Stop talking nonsense. Since that day, the woman has been coming to Mrs. Wang's house every day to be with Simon King. Her kindness is like lacquer and her kindness is like glue. Since ancient times, there has been a saying, good things never go out, and bad things spread thousands of miles. In less than half a month, everyone in the neighborhood knew about it, and only Wuhan University was kept secret. Exactly, knowing that one's duty is to make a living, one has the heart to guard against treachery and evil. The words are divided into 2 parts. Let us say that there is a young man in this county who is 15 or 16 years old. His surname is Kiao. He was born and raised in Yenzhou because he was a soldier, so he named him Brother Yan. There is only one father in the family, who is very old. The boy was a good boy. He had always relied on selling the latest fruits in the many hotels in front of the county, and Simon Kingfu often gave him some money. That day I was looking for a basket of snow pears, and I took it round the street to look for Simon King. Another group of people said, "Brother Yan, if you want to find him, I will teach you a place to go." Brother Yan said, "Tell me, old uncle, who is going to find him?" The talkative said, "I'll tell you. Wu Die's wife, who sells cooking cakes on Simon Kingwa Street, only eats at Zishi every day. I'm sitting in Wang Po's tea house on the street. We'll only stay there for the rest of the night. It's your kid's house, so it's okay to just bump into it." After hearing this, Brother Yan thanked the man, picked up the basket, walked straight to Zishi Street, and ran into Wang Po's tea house. But just when he saw Wang Po sitting on a small stool, Brother Yan put the basket down, looked at Wang Po and said, "Godmother, say hello." The woman asked, "Brother Yan, what are you doing here?" Brother Yan said, "You want to find a high-ranking official and earn 30 or 50 money to support your father." The mother-in-law said, "What kind of high official?" Brother Yan said, "If you know the love, it is just him." The mother-in-law said, "Even high-ranking officials have names." Brother Yan said, "It's just 2 words." The mother-in-law said, "What 2 words are you talking about?" Brother Yan said, "My godmother is just playing a trick. I want to have a word with Mr. Simon." He looked in and left. The woman grabbed her and said, "Where is this little monkey going? Every house has its own inside and outside." Brother Yan said, "I'll find it when I go to the room." Wang Po scolded, "Hanwu, little prisoner. What high-ranking Simon official is there in my house?" Brother Yan said, "Godmother, don't eat alone. Please sip some juice with me." "Why should I ignore it?" The mother-in-law scolded. "What do you think about that little prisoner?" Brother Yan said, "You are busy chopping vegetables in a wooden ladle with a horse hoof knife. There is no leakage. If you insist on me telling you, I'm afraid you will sell it." The brother who made the cakes is having an attack. The old woman said that he was really ill after eating these 2 sentences. She was furious and shouted, "The little hosen with black eyes is also coming to my house to fart." Brother Yan said, "I am the little hosen. You are Ma Bolyu, the old dog meat who takes the lead." The woman grabbed Brother Yan and struck to chestnuts. Brother Yan shouted, "What are you doing to beat me?" The mother-in-law scolded, "You little hosen, if you dare to raise your voice, I will beat you with a big air scraper." Brother Yan said, "The thief is always biting insects, so hit me if you have nothing to do." The woman had a forked head and a big chestnut, and she walked straight into the street, throwing the pear basket away. The basket of Sydney fell into pieces and rolled away. This little monkey couldn't beat the godly woman. He scolded and cried while walking away, picking up pears on the street. He pointed at Po Wang's tea house and cursed, "Old bitch, don't panic when I tell you. I won't do anything with him. Don't believe it. Your appearance will definitely be ruined, and you won't be able to make any money." The little monkey picked up a basket and ran down the street to look for this person. But exactly, overturning the grass in the lonely rabbit's nest, startling the mandarin ducks to sleep on the sand.
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.